This is breathing 101, starting in a supine position or on our backs. It's going to be really important for us to master this breath so that when I explain exhale the ribs back or exhale from the bottom up, it becomes second nature and you can sense and feel in your body what that means. So we'll start on the ground, so you can use the ground as feedback for the ribs, exhaling back so you have something to breathe into. Grabbing a yoga block and getting comfortable on the ground. If when you come on the ground you feel like your pelvis is just really dumped forward and it's hard for you to control that, sometimes you can place your feet on a little foam pad or a couple textbooks. That's going to passively bring you into a little posterior tilt, glutes stay relaxed. So you can experiment with that, or you can kind of remove that and just place feet flat on the ground. When you do have your feet on the ground, I want you to really think about grounding through your big toe mound and the inside edge of your heel in that position. I'm going to have my yoga block close by and just sense and feel where you have contact with the ground. Just something to tune into. And as we start our breaths, paying attention to where you feel those inhales going in your body. So as I inhale, I'm thinking about big toe mound, inside edge of the heel, not allowing my pelvis to dump too far forward. My head is up, so my airway stays open. I'm going to think about one hand on my belly, one hand on the rib cage area. Inhale through the nose and exhale. Out the mouth. Inhales are through the nose, pretty silent. And exhales are out the mouth. And just tuning in to where you feel that expansiveness with your inhale. Think inhale, expand, exhale, compress. I'm gonna grab that yoga block, something I can kind of squeeze to get my inner thighs on board on my exhalations. So as I inhale, I wanna think about breathing into my back, kind of expanding into the ground and breathing into my pelvis. So the air flows down, pelvic floor just kind of lengthens and lets go. And I'm feeling that expansiveness, so I wanna inhale into the ground versus inhaling and arching away from the ground, kind of like that seesaw. If you need, you can place a band or something underneath the sports bar area for a little bit of extra feedback. So as I inhale, I'm thinking about inhaling into the ground and allowing the pelvic floor to lengthen. So inhaling down towards my butt and my vagina. So inhaling down towards the pelvis and into the rib cage, expanding into the floor. And then as I exhale, I think about that exhale initiating from the pelvic floor on up, so from the bottom up. As I gently squeeze on the block, so I feel the pelvic floor lift, hip bones draw together, the tension rolls towards my belly button, and then eventually my ribs kind of curve in. As I kind of complete that exhalation, I want to make sure that my sternum stays lifted and I don't drop my chest and round forward. So those ribs kind of curve in and around, but my chest stays lifted. So we'll take a couple breaths. Inhale, breathing down into the ground, into my sides, and down into the pelvis. Let go of tension on the block. Keep that press into the big toe mound, inside edge of the heel. And then exhale, bottom up. Pelvic floor lifts, squeeze the block. You'll start to sense and feel some tension build in your abdominals. Inhale again, and when you inhale again, try to keep some of that air flowing into the rib cage and down into the pelvis versus the air blowing all out on the belly. So over time, we'll start to think about maintaining some of this tension in the abdominals as we send our inhales to the rib cage. And then exhale. Bottom up. Rib cage kind of curves in and around. Take a nice pause at the end of the exhale, and then inhale again. Think about expanding into the rib cage. Let go of tension on the block. And then exhale. Pelvic floor initiates on up. So as we inhale, we think about expanding into the ground, creating that expansion 360 degrees, and then exhale. As we exhale, we find that tension bottom up. Ribs come back. Inhale. Exhale. Over time, your exhale will get longer and longer. When we start, we can think about a 3-second inhale, and then maybe a 4 to 5-second exhale. Pausing, feeling that tension. Over time, learning how to maintain some of that tension. And then inhaling again. Down into the pelvis, into the rib cage, into the chest. Expanding into the ground, exhale. Bottom up.